Good evening. This is my first video. I've never really recorded. Well, I have, but not really have posted anything before on YouTube of myself. I don't want to, well, yeah, I might be on here a while. I was going to say I don't want to hold you long, but I'm a talker, so let me just be real. Yes, I am driving. I'm just coming back, and this is what's sparking this little talk. Excuse me, sorry. Got my phone on this little thing, and I'm hoping it stays up. So I'm just coming from a friend of mine's presentation event here in Indianapolis, and the theme of I might just have to hold this. Sorry, but the theme of the subject or the topic was self-care. And one of the things that she mentioned, and this is a friend of mine I just recently met back in March in Phoenix. She's a single mom of 5, beautiful young lady. And she brought up some very powerful things that many of us, especially even some of us in the African American community, Black women, as myself, do not, or maybe we do, recognize or don't recognize about self-care. And the way she was talking about it, not self-care in maintaining your look. We're not talking about manicures and pedicures and shopping days and spa days. We're not talking about nothing like that. I hope you guys can hear me. She was talking about self-care being a process. And she's been on her testimony and her journey. Literally, I just got so choked up. It was so emotional. It was very eye-opening. You know how Oprah says, you have that aha moment. This was an aha moment for me. As a mother, I am legally married, but I'm, going through some things. And that's a whole nother video. But I was a single mother, still really am, of 3 now. So on this topic of self-care being a process is what she mentioned, and how we look at self-care and what self-care really is. It's acknowledging what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. Self-care being maintenance, like we have to maintain our vehicles, we have to maintain our homes, we have to maintain relationships, marriage, but you can't even maintain some of those things, a relationship, a marriage, not even your car, if you're not maintaining yourself. And she was talking about rewiring our minds, that our mindset is hardwired according to what we think upon, our thoughts, and what we feel on a day in and day out basis. We're hardwired as mothers when we're dealing with our children. I know me, and I can admit, I snap at my children. I'm angry often. I'm bitter. And listening to my girlfriend today give her first motivational speech on self-care really was awakening for me, and she touched a lot of points that are really rooted in a lot of women. And it was very emotional for me because you don't know what you don't know. Like, you don't know why you're angry, or why you're bitter, or why you're resentful, why you're sad, why you're even in pain. She talked about being the broken little girl inside of you. And this is for my young women and my women, not just young women. You can be 60, 70, 80 years old and still be a broken little girl. And there are a lot of, and I know because I'm one of them, and I can acknowledge that now, hearing it from this girlfriend of mine as she was speaking to a group of us in this room, that I'm broken. And I didn't know why. Why was I broken? Why am I broken? Not was, am. And I can acknowledge that because there are many of you that are broken right now. And if you're hearing me and you're listening to this, you're angry because of not only what maybe someone may have or may not have done to you, but because of your own failures, your own insecurities, your own shame, your own guilt. And a lot of that is I'm angry at my own choices that I've made. And we can't blame our husbands or partners, boyfriends, whatever, mothers, fathers, grandparents, aunties, uncles, teachers, because, well, let me clarify that. As a child, we can look back and look at the things that were said or wasn't said to us, the support we didn't receive from those relatives or those who were supposed to care for us, teachers, family members, friends, growing up. Maybe you were bullied. I don't know the situation when you were a little girl. But there's something that is holding you back, that is keeping you from your full potential. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm struggling. I know that I have great potential. I have ideas. I have books in me. I have ministry in me, coaching in me. There's so much that's in me, but what is keeping me, you, from progressing to that next level, from moving forward, for what is keeping you from applying what we know into action? I don't know. Listening to this friend of mine, I said, she was telling us that we need to look in the mirror and just sit in the mirror and look at yourself and talk to yourself. Why are you angry? Why are you hurt? Someone may have hurt you, but we are not responsible, and we have to come to an understanding with this, and that whatever the situation, whoever hurt you, that what they did is not your fault, but how you respond to your circumstance or the situation or the past. How are you responding? You may not even know that you're responding in anger to that. You may think or thought that you were over it, that you were past it, that it's not a big deal anymore. You may have thought that you have forgiven that person or that choice, that mistake, that situation, whatever it may be, the marriage, the man, the failure. It actually really feels good. I'm not talking just to be talking, but listening to her, to my friend, say the things she said about self-care being a process every day. For me, putting God first, but putting God first is putting yourself first, because He knows us better than we know ourselves. And self-care can be a lot of things to many people, but I'm talking more on a mental and emotional and even spiritual, most importantly spiritual level, not a physical self-care. Even though that